So I've always wanted to make a Halo 3 retrospective type video, but there's plenty of people who have already done this. There's several Halo 3 retrospective videos that you can find on YouTube. And I've always wanted to do one of my own, but at the same time, I don't really know what new information I'd be adding. From all those Halo 3 retrospective videos that I've seen, altogether they pretty much cover the greatness that was Halo 3. So if I was to make my own Halo 3 retrospective video, it would be kind of pointless, and I'd be going over the same things that they already covered. But you know, from all those Halo 3 retrospective videos, there's one aspect of Halo 3 that I feel they didn't do justice. And that would be the Halo 3 matchmaking. I mean, they covered this in the videos that I saw. They did, but I feel like there's more to it that I want to elaborate on. So that's why this video here, this is basically a Halo 3 matchmaking retrospective. You know, in these videos where people look back on Halo 3 and they reminisce, a lot of them, they always talk about the campaign, the custom games, the Forge. And while all those things are great, there are some people who have spent most, if not all of their time, in Halo 3's matchmaking. And I am one of those people. That is where I've spent most of my time playing Halo in general, is in the Halo 3 matchmaking. OG Halo 3. If you've been watching my videos for a while, then you've probably heard me talk highly of Halo 3's ranking system. I love Halo 3's ranking system, flaws and all. But it's not just the ranking system that I loved in Halo 3, it's the matchmaking as a whole. There are so many aspects of Halo 3's matchmaking that I love, and some of these things never made their way into a future Halo game, and some of these things are not present in the most recent mainline Halo game, which would be Halo 5, and also there's a lot of these things aren't in MCC either. So now let's dive into Halo 3's matchmaking, let's dissect everything piece by piece, and analyze the greatness that was the Halo 3 matchmaking experience. So first off, let's start with the 1 to 50 ranking system. I'm sure many of you who are watching this video understand the 1 to 50 ranking system. Basically, if you win games, you rank up, you lose games, you rank down. That's the long and short of it. It wasn't a perfect system. It had plenty of flaws. I want to make that clear. I love Halo 3's ranking system, but it did have flaws. There were things like boosting, which resulted in players deranking. Sometimes you could get level locked if you had too much XP. There were issues with the 1 to 50 ranking system, but like I said, flaws and all, I still think it was an incredible ranking system. Without that 1 to 50 ranking system, I don't know that I would have played Halo anywhere near the amount that I did. Something about progressing through the ranks and getting that level 50 and doing that in different playlists and making new accounts and doing it again and again and again, it felt so rewarding, satisfying. And unlike MCC, I loved that you could progress through the ranks pretty fast in Halo 3. You could go from a level 1 to a level 50 in a day, and I didn't see that as a problem. You still have to win a good amount of games, well, unless you're getting boosted. I think I've heard rumors of people getting 50s in 12 games. I don't know how true that is, but certainly you could get it in 20. You could get a 50 pretty fast. But if you take boosting out of the equation, I don't see a problem with the speed at which a player could reach level 1 to level 50, because you had to consistently win games. And you were getting matched against other players of a similar skill. You would get matched against players 10 ranks above or 10 ranks below whichever player in the lobby had the highest skill. So if you were a level 40 and you were searching in a ranked playlist, you would be searching 10 above 40 and 10 ranks below 40. So from 30 to 50. That would be the skill range at which you would search if you were a level 40. Now, if you were in a party, for example, a party of 2, one player was a level 10, the other player is a level 30, well, because of the lower rank, you wouldn't be searching above 30. You would just be searching 10 below 30, 20 to 30. And looking back on that now, it does seem like that was a little weird, maybe a little flawed, because if a player was trying to get their level 50, they could just search a ranked playlist with a lower rank so that they wouldn't search above their rank. So if they were a 40, they could search with a level 20, and that means they would not be searching for players that are higher than their rank 40. So they would always either be getting people of their skill or lower. And now that I think about it, maybe a better system would just be to ignore the lower ranks in the party. Just the skill range should just be based off of the highest rank in the party. So if there's a level 10 and a level 40 in a party you guys are searching together, maybe it should just look at the highest rank, which is the level 40, and it should just search 10 above that rank and 10 below, and it shouldn't even factor in the lower rank. So maybe that would be a better solution. I don't know. But regardless, Halo 3's 1 to 50 skill-based ranking system was something really great, and I'd love to see that return in a future Halo game, even though I know it never will. And I'm talking about the Halo 3 1 to 50 ranking system, with maybe with a few tweaks. Next, I would like to move on to the XP system within Halo 3. When it comes to these XP progressional type ranking systems that you see in games, I think Halo 3 did it the best by far. In all these other games like the Call of Duty, Battlefield, MCC, you name the game, a lot of them, they have this XP system where you gain experience from doing all kinds of things, just from playing, from winning, from getting kills, from completing objectives. And at the end of the match, you see your little XP bar fill up, and you honestly might not even know what that number means. Like, you were just playing, you don't know exactly where every single one of those points came from. But a lot of games use a system like that, a system where you can just gain XP just by playing. You don't even have to win or get kills. You'll progress slower, but you'll gain XP just by playing. Halo Reach did a similar thing, except it was called credits. But in Halo 3, to gain XP, you had to win games. You had to win. And you know what you got when you won a game? You know how much XP you got when you won a game in Halo 3? 1. You got 1 experience point. You know what you got if you lost? Absolutely nothing. You know what you got if you quit? You lost 1 experience point. Such a simple system, and yet it was phenomenal. It worked. And I have no idea why we strayed away from that system. Well, I do know, because you had to win. You had to win the game to gain experience. And some people are just bad at games, and you gotta make them feel like they're achieving something, the whole everybody gets a trophy mentality. Fuck that. If you're bad, you're bad, okay? Like, that it's simple as that. If you lose, you get nothing. Like, what is the problem with that? If I lose a game, I don't want to get anything. Don't give me experience. I don't want to rank up for losing. I don't want to unlock something for fucking losing. Well, maybe unlocking shit's fine, if you had to get a certain amount of kills with a weapon to unlock a piece of armor, that's fine. But I would also like for there to be unlockables for achieving certain ranks, like getting a level 50. How about that, like in MCC, there should be a reward tied to getting a level 50. I know they just added a reward in MCC for getting a level 20 in the Halo 3 Recon playlist. You get a sniper skin. And I like that kind of stuff. I like having to work towards something to obtain it. I don't want it just fucking handed to me. But I will say with that sniper skin in MCC, the only problem with that is MCC skill-based matchmaking is absolute trash. So it is very frustrating trying to get a level 20 in that playlist because of MCC's shitty skill-based matchmaking, but that's another topic. In Halo 3, as you gained XP, you would rank up. Halo 3, they used the military ranks, and there were these different milestones for gaining XP, like gain 50 XP, 100 XP, 200 XP, things like that, and once you hit those milestones, you would rank up. But you also had to progress through the 1 to 50 skill ranks as well if you wanted to continue and to progress through those military ranks. Because if you never played a ranked playlist and you just played social and gained a lot of XP, eventually your rank, it would come to a stop. You wouldn't be able to progress anymore until you ranked up in a ranked playlist. Like, for example, you can't get the top rank in Halo 3 unless you get a level 50. I think that's how it should be. Like, I know that a lot of games, they have separate systems. They have their progressional ranks and then their skill ranks. But I like how in Halo 3, those two systems, the XP system and the skill rank system, they were intertwined. They complemented each other. They worked together. At some point, to progress to the next military rank, you would have to have a certain amount of XP, and you would have had to achieve a certain skill rank. And that's how I like it. See, not everyone's going to be able to get the top rank in the game, because not everyone's going to be able to get a level 50. But then that's how it should be. There's nothing wrong if you can't get the top rank in the game, but I don't think you should be able to achieve the top rank in the game if you don't deserve it. Like, if you're not skilled at the game. I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't like games where you can achieve the top rank just by putting in the time. I think you should have to put in the time and be somewhat skilled at the game. I was really turned off by Reach when I found out you could get level Inheritor by literally just playing Firefight. You could just play Firefight in Halo Reach and get the top rank in the game. Now, yeah, you could argue, oh, well, I'm skilled at Firefight. I deserve the top rank, but I think you should have to be skilled at all aspects of the game, right? And just because you're good at something like Firefight or the campaign, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to perform well in matchmaking. But if you're somebody who performs well in matchmaking, in the PvP, well, it's safe to say you're going to do fine in campaign and Firefight as well. But yeah, that's just my opinion. I've talked about this in other videos. I personally like games where you have to be skilled at all aspects of the game to achieve that top rank. Now, I've talked a little bit about the military ranks in Halo 3. And when Halo 3 first released, everybody had one military rank. That was your overall rank. But later on in an update, I believe the update came out sometime in 2008, there was an update to the game that introduced XP ranks per playlist. That includes the ranked playlist and the social playlist. So what that means is, and many of you already know this because Halo 3 is 50 years old and I really don't even need to go over this because you know exactly what I'm talking about. But that meant not only could you gain XP towards your overall rank, but you could gain XP in each separate playlist. So my overall XP that I've gained across all the playlists could be 2,000. But then I could have XP for the Team Slayer playlist, which could be 100. Social Slayer, I could have 50 XP. Team Doubles, I might have 20 XP. Lone Wolves, maybe I have 300 XP. And as you hit certain XP milestones in each playlist, you would get a military rank within that specific playlist. So I could be a corporal in one playlist, I could be a general in another playlist, a brigadier in a separate playlist, a colonel, did I just say a colonel? What the? No, I think I combined colonial and colonel, because that's how I used to say colonel. I used to say colonial, and then I found that it was colonel, so I kind of just combined them there. But yeah, you could be a colonel in another playlist. So Halo 3's XP system, its ranking system in general, it had some depth to it. And it was rewarding to progress through the ranks, to gain XP, to level up through the skill ranks, because you had to win. You felt like you achieved something. Now, in fucking MCC or Halo 5, I gain XP just by playing. It's just, I could do terrible and rank up. I hate that. I hate that. See, I feel like they make those systems because they feel like that's will appeal to players. Like, even if they're bad, they'll feel like they're achieving something. I'm the opposite. I hate, if I do bad, I don't like being rewarded. I don't know if that's just me, but yeah, that's how I feel. I don't want anything for losing or for doing poorly. I mean, like, I don't want to progress through the ranks if I'm losing. That's just how I am. Because if I can achieve the top rank by playing poorly and losing games, then it doesn't feel as rewarding when you win those games. So that's Halo 3's ranking system. I love Halo 3's ranking system. I would love to see something like that return in a later game. The XP system and the 1 to 50 skill-based system from Halo 3. But not only the ranking systems. There's other aspects to Halo 3's matchmaking as well that I would love to see return in future Halo games or just any game in general. So let's move on to pre-game lobbies. I think this is kind of relevant now, considering pre-game lobbies no longer exist in MCC, and they haven't for a while. Pre-game lobbies existed when when MCC first came out, but we haven't seen them for a while. And you are extremely limited with what you can do and see in Halo 5's pre-game lobbies. So when it comes to pre-game lobbies in Halo 3, I don't know where to start. Let's just start with vetoing. Vetoing. That was introduced in Halo 3. It gave players a choice over what they wanted to play. So when you're searching in Halo 3's matchmaking and you find a game and it puts all the players in a pre-game lobby, you will see a game type and a map. And players will be given the option to veto. Press X to veto that game type and map. You can skip it. You can get a different randomized game type and map. If more than half the players in the lobby veto, then you will get a new game type and a map to play. And in the Halo 3 Ranked Team Slayer playlist, and I'm not sure if this is also the same for the Social Slayer playlist, I can't remember. In the Ranked Team Slayer playlist, if you got into a pre-game lobby and the game type was regular Team Slayer, meaning you'll spawn with an assault rifle, you were guaranteed, I believe you were guaranteed, maybe it was a 99% chance that you would get BRs. You would get BR starts if you vetoed an AR start game type. That was the case, I believe, every time. Maybe there was a few times where I think there was a few times for whatever reason that wasn't the case. But vetoing was such a great system because it gave players a choice. It gave them a choice. A little bit of a choice, but a choice nonetheless. And we just, that went away. That's gone now. That's gone with Halo 5. That's gone with MCC. In some of the later Halo games, like Halo Reach, Halo 4, and at the beginning of MCC, we had a voting system where you were giving three different sets of maps and game types that you could vote on what you wanted to play. And the voting system's okay, that's better than nothing. But now in Halo 5 and MCC, we don't have either of them. We don't have either. The 50-year-old game Halo 3, we had vetoing. We had a system. And it's things like that blow my... I haven't cussed yet. I'm not going to start now. Have I cussed? I don't know. If I haven't cussed yet, that's pretty impressive for me. But it's things like that blow my mind. Like, that was such a great system in a 50-year-old game, and now it's gone in Halo 5, the current mainline Halo game, and MCC, and will it return in Halo Infinite? Probably not. Also, with the pre-game lobbies in Halo 3, and this is something small, but I myself, and I know many others, always used to look at this. There were party bars. They were called the party bars. These bars next to players' names, and by looking at them, you could tell if players were searching solo, searching in a party of 2, a party of 3, or a party of 4. You had these party bars in ranked playlist, in social playlist, and while you could argue it's meaningless, it is something that I appreciated, that I used. I looked at that. I liked to know if players were in parties. Like if I was playing BTB, and there was a party of 8, I could look at that party bar and know the entire other team is a party of 8 players. And that changes things, because now when I go into the match, I'm not thinking I'm just playing against a bunch of people who got matched together randomly. No, I know that is a squad. So that might be a tougher team to beat than a team that consists of a bunch of players who were just solo searching. I loved the party bars. I loved seeing that, and we didn't have that in MCC when pregame lobbies were a thing, and now pregame lobbies aren't a thing at all in MCC. And speaking of parties, in the Halo 3 ranked playlist, we had something called party matching. Now, I'm not entirely sure how party matching works in all the different MCC playlists or in Halo 5 ranked playlist. I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure. Halo, at first, MCC didn't have party matching, then it did. Maybe, I think it got changed a little bit. Party matching works different in different MCC playlists, and I just can't fucking keep track of it all. But we had party matching back in Halo 3. And basically what that means is when you're searching for a game in a ranked playlist in Halo 3, the game would take how many players you're searching with into account. So if you're searching in a party of 4, you could only match another party of 4. If there was no other party of 4 searching, you would never get a game. And that's I agree with that. I like that. Something like that wouldn't work now with MCC and its low population. But back in the Halo 3 days, we did have a much larger player base, and that system, it worked, and it was great. And man, I hate that I can't remember this, but I honestly can't remember all the different party matching possibilities. Like, honestly, I don't know. Could a party of 4 match a party of 3 and one solo? I don't think so. I'm almost positive that wasn't the case. But I used to know all this shit off the top of my head. Like, I used to know parties of 2 could only match other parties of 2, or a party of 2 and 2 solo. Like, I knew all the different party matching possibilities. But it's been so fucking long that I can't remember. But I believe parties of 2 could only match other parties of 2, or you could, like, the teams could consist of a party of 2 on each team with 2 solos on each team. 4 solo players could get matched up against another 4 solo players. Parties of 3 with a solo on their team could get matched up against another team consisting of a party of 3 and a solo. And sometimes it was possible for 2 parties of 2 to be on one team, but a party of 2 and 2 solos to be on another. And things like that. You guys know what party matching is. And as I said, it kind of disgusts me that I can't remember. My memory's fading. The moral of the story, I can't remember shit anymore. Oh god, I cussed. God damn it. Fuck. No! Another thing that I loved about the pregame lobbies, and this is obvious, but I could see the ranks of players on the other team and on my team. Everybody could see everybody's rank if you were playing a ranked playlist. But even in a social playlist, you could see your military rank. Again, that's something you could argue is meaningless. You don't need to be able to see the player's rank, but I enjoy seeing the ranks of the other players in the game. I like to see that. A lot of people do. Sometimes, I like to know what I'm going up against. And not only could you see players' ranks, and this leads into the next thing I wanted to talk about in regards to the Halo 3 matchmaking experience, the fucking service record. The Halo 3 service record. Every player had a service record. You click your name, you click service record, and you could see how many ranked games you played, how many social games you played, how many custom games you played, and you could see how much XP you had overall and how much XP you had in the current playlist that you had selected or you were searching. This was great. I loved seeing it, and it was so easy to see it, man. Like, you just click the name, service record, and boom, there it is. There it is. There's your games played. There's your XP. It was right there. It was so easy to access. Honestly, right now, like, I don't even know how I can see my games played in MCC. I know it's possible and it's not that hard, but it's more steps than it was in Halo 3. I think it's in fucking career or something. I don't know. I don't look at it that often. But if I could just access it the same way I could in Halo 3, I'd be looking at it all the time. Halo Reach also had a service record, and honestly, Halo Reach's service record, there was more to it. You could see more stats than you could with Halo 3, such as your kills and your deaths. And honestly, the ideal service record in my mind for Halo would be a combination of Halo 3's and Halo Reach's. Like, I love the simplicity of Halo 3 service record, but I like how you had more stats to look at with Halo Reach's. So a little of both would be great. But we'll probably never get that. I'm not sure how much 343 cares about quality of life improvements. But another thing that was so great in regards to the service record in Halo 3 was the fact that I could see other players' service records, and they didn't even need to be on the fucking game. They didn't even need to be on the game. And I could see their service record. If I'm searching a ranked playlist or any playlist and I get into a game or in the pregame lobby, I can go through, I can look at people's service records, I can see how many games they played, I can see how much XP they have, I can see their highest skill, and I can get an idea for, how good the player is, what kind of skill they are. But that's no longer a thing in Halo. It's no longer a thing in MCC, it's no longer a thing in Halo 5. But not only could I see other players' service records, I could also look at their file share. This is another thing you can no longer do in MCC, and you cannot do in Halo 5 either. MCC, you can't even take screenshots anymore. That feature's fucking gone. And I think they've removed that because game DVR is a thing, so they think the screenshot feature within the game itself is no big deal. But I would love to be able to click on a player's file share and look at their screenshots in the pregame lobby. I used to do that in Halo 3 all the fucking time, and even when I go back and play OG Halo 3 now, which is rare, but I do it sometimes, I'm still in pregame lobbies. I'm checking out their service records, I'm checking out their file shares. I'm still doing it. That's not an obsolete feature. Bring that back. Pregame lobbies, service records, file shares, and let me see other players. Let me see other players' service records, file shares, and ranks and things like that. In MCC, I can see a lot of my own, but I want to see others as well. Another thing that I could mention is double XP weekends. Those were always exciting. When the weekend rolled around, you got a special playlist where you would gain two experience points when you won a game. So that was something that was pretty cool. And I wish more games would do that, come out with a special playlist and make it double XP for that playlist alone. Like a lot of games, when they do double XP weekends, it'll just be for the entire multiplayer. You play whatever you want. But I prefer having a single playlist, something special. Like in Halo 3, it was Rocket Race or the Mythic Brawl or 3-Ball. I'd prefer that, something like that, a unique playlist, and that playlist alone is the double XP playlist for the weekend instead of the entire multiplayer being double XP. Oh, also another thing that I want to mention is the Halo 3 post-game Carnage report. We have a Carnage report in MCC. I don't think we had a post-game Carnage report in Halo 5 at launch. No, we had it at launch. There was something about it though that we didn't have. What was it? Maybe medals? Didn't it show medals in it or something like that? Something. I think it didn't show like the medals or something in the post-game Carnage report for Halo 5 at launch. But something unique about Halo 3's post-game Carnage report that we don't see in Halo 5 or MCC is MVP. At the end of a Halo 3 match, when you got back to the lobby, if you opened up the post-game Carnage report, one of the first things you see is the MVP. And it would show the Spartan for the player who achieved MVP. And it would also show the top medals that any player got in that match. And it would just be 3 medals. And that's another thing, it's just cool. It's cool. You open the post-game Carnage report, and right there, if you did the best in the game, well, if you got the most kills, doesn't necessarily mean you did the best, but if you had the most kills, boom, there it is. MVP, it'll say your name and show your Spartan. Also, if you're someone who got a impressive medal, like, I don't know, a Kill-tacular, if that was one of the best medals in the game, then it would show it right there when you open up the post-game Carnage report. It would say top medals, it would show your medal and have your name. I also almost forgot to mention the post-game lobby in Halo 3. At the end of a Halo 3 match, it would put all the players in a post-game lobby, and there would be a little countdown. I think it counted down from like 20 seconds or something like that. You could watch other players rank up in that post-game lobby if you're playing a ranked playlist. Well, you could also watch them rank up their military rank in a social playlist. But what was really cool about the post-game lobby in Halo 3 is you had this option to party up with other players. So if I'm solo searching, or hey, even if I'm searching in a party, at the end of the match, I can party up with players who are not currently in my party. Players were given the option to press X to party up, so all the players who pressed X in that post-game lobby, they would search for the next match together. And I know nowadays everybody has their set groups that they play with, and you don't really meet people playing online anymore. Well, not as much. I don't feel like you do as much as you used to back in the day. Back in the day in Halo 3, everybody had mics. They were talking. You would meet new people all the time. At least that's how it was with me. But anyways, the party up feature, it was a cool feature. It didn't do any harm, and I don't see why it couldn't be in a future Halo game. Partying up did return in Halo Reach, but the problem with it in Halo Reach is it didn't give players the option to press X to party up. In Halo Reach, you would just sit in the post-game lobby until the countdown got to 0, and everybody that was remaining in that post-game lobby would search for the next match together, and you guys would all be in a party together. And I don't think you were actually in a party together, but you would search for the next match together. But I didn't really like that system, because now you're searching with people that may not even have wanted to party up. They were just waiting down the timer. So at the end of a Halo Reach match, if I didn't want to search for the next match with players in that post-game lobby, I would have to back out to the multiplayer lobby and then search that playlist again. In Halo 3, you could just wait out the timer of the post-game lobby, and you would search for the next match alone, or you could press X to party up with certain individuals that wanted to party up. But yeah, I think that's just about it. I think I covered everything. That's my Halo 3 matchmaking retrospective. It was an incredible experience. I can't say that I would enjoy that same matchmaking experience today as much as I did back in 2007, because I'm at a different point in my life, and I've been playing Halo a long time now. I've been playing games a long time now. It's not as new and fresh as it was back then, but still, nonetheless, it was a phenomenal experience, and I would love to see aspects of Halo 3's matchmaking return in future games. Doesn't even have to be a Halo game. If you weren't playing Halo back in the Halo 3 days, I'm sorry to say, but you did miss out. Those were some phenomenal times. Halo 3, obviously, one of the best games of all time. Easily my favorite game of all time. And like I said at the beginning of this video, I don't know if I would have played Halo 3, or Halo in general, anywhere near as much as I did if Halo 3's matchmaking wasn't the way it was. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments. I read them all. And I will see you on the next one. Peace out, everybody.